Okay, so in class today we talked about how we can use either 2 points, a vertex, a focus, a directrix, another point. Any of those 2 things, we can use those to find the equation of a parabola. So this is going to be number 3 from your homework. And for number 3, we're given the vertex, HK, and we're given another point. Okay, so our vertex is going to be 8, -1. And from here we want to solve through to find the equation. And the equation that we're going to use, since this one is pointing up, we're going to use the equation x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. So we can start by plugging in our vertex h and k. So we have x minus 8 squared equals 4p times y minus -1, and minus a negative is just like adding, so it's going to be y plus 1. Okay, so from here we need to solve for p, and we have a point x and y, so we're going to take this point 0, 2.2, and we're going to plug it in for x and y. So x is going to be 0 and y is going to be 2.2. Okay, so now we just have to solve for p. So 0 minus 8 is -8. -8 squared is 64. 2.2 plus 1 is 3.2. 3.2 times 4 is 12.8. So we have 12.8p on this side and 64 over here. So then we just have to divide by 12.8. And we get that p is 5. And that's one of the things that's asked for over here, so we know p is 5. And now we can actually write our equation. So we have to take the equation that we had up here where we're missing the p-value, and we have to plug p back in. So we have x minus 8 squared equals, and since it's 4p, 4 times 5 is 20, so 20 times y plus 1. So there's our equation for this parabola. And now we have to find the focus, the directrix, and the focal width. So let's start by finding the focus. So in this case, our focus is h and then k plus p. So for us, we know h is 8, and then we have -1 for k plus p, so plus 5. So that's going to end up being 8, 4 for our focus. And then our directrix is going to be y equals k minus p. So for us, that's -1 minus 5. So it's going to be y equals -6 for our directrix. Okay. So focal width is something that we did not talk about today, but it's really easy to find. So basically what a focal width is if you have your focus, so it's 8, 4 for us. So it's about here. The focal width is how wide your equation is at that point. So it's that distance right there. And it's easy to find because your focal width is just 4p. And as we already know, 4p is 20. So your focal width is 20. Okay, so there we go. That's how we find the equation and all of these other things if we know the vertex and one other point.